Okay, folks, this is the latest update on the Nancy Guthrie case, the case that just keeps mystifying and mystifying. They found trace amounts of DNA on one of the black gloves found. There were multiple black gloves that were found. For some reason, the sheriff at Pima County decided to send the glove for testing to a lab in Florida, which, from what I understand, I'm not an expert in forensics or any kind of DNA testing or lab testing, etc. But doing a little research and digging, this just adds more perplexity to this situation. It's not uncommon to send a glove, far away like that. I mean, that's, on the other side of the continent practically. But it is a little unusual. And so I'm going to talk about that for a second. Also, I got more to share with you because this Nancy Guthrie case is driving me berserk. Let me know. I mean, am I the only one that has fatigue of Nancy Guthrie? I mean, I have to report this stuff because it's happening. It's real. It's news. It's everywhere. And plus, I've been basically covering this since this unfortunate accident happened. At the brunt of this, the real victim here is Nancy Guthrie. We're all praying that she's still alive. There was hopes that maybe she was. I'll talk about that too in just a second. But I've got Mom Donnie. I've got some other news to share with you, so just stick around. Mom Donnie is shocking New York City. Well, he's not really shocking me, probably not you as well. But wait till you see this. I've got some more here. And then J.D. Vance talks about 2028 with Fox's Martha McCallum. I got to share with you a couple clips from that. And then stick around to the end. You're not going to believe this. But the most bizarre thing happened at our Capitol in Washington, D.C. A man detained by D.C. Metro had a firearm and was headed straight for the Capitol. I'll share with you their little quick report on that. That was just insane. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right in. Okay, so the mystery DNA that was found on a potentially crucial glove found near Nancy Guthrie's home, as well as other genetic material in her house, do not match any records in the FBI's database, officials have said today, Tuesday, February 17th. Apparently, the genetic material on the discarded glove, which was discovered 2 miles from Guthrie's $1 million home in Tucson, resulted in no hits within the agency's combined DNA index system or CODIS database, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanios told Fox News. We're hopeful, the sheriff said, that we're always getting closer. But the news now, I think, is we had heard this morning that, of course, the DNA on the glove that was found 2 miles away was submitted for CODIS, Combined DNA Index System. That's what CODIS stands for. And I just heard that CODIS had no hits, the sheriff said. So this is, I don't know how this happens. You had DNA. He just cleared the entire family. Now, if you're just joining us and you have no clue what's going on, I have an entire playlist that you can binge watch. I'll leave a link in the show notes and description down below, also in the pinned comment, so you can get caught up. I have like 15 episodes. It's like you can just binge watch it like a Netflix series. I don't know how this happens. I did a bunch of reports on, obviously, the brother-in-law and the sister, Annie Guthrie, her husband, Tomasino. Seems very credible kind of correlations there. But, the sheriff says the family's been cleared. And so that's really, really interesting to me. Separate DNA found in Nancy's home also did not match any records in the FBI database. Nanios said authorities had previously confirmed that the DNA was different from the DNA found in Nancy's home. So this could suggest maybe there's two people or two different people, or God knows what's going on with Pima County. Authorities have said the recovered black glove appeared to be the same kind as the one worn by the masked man. The same glove right here that you see here, that Nest camera that is now pretty much dated and old now. Authorities said before her abduction, the glove was one of the of more than a dozen that were collected from the scene close to the main highway heading through the Catalina foothills, but most of the gloves were determined to have been dropped on the ground. Why? How? Huh? Make it make sense. Holy mackerel. I mean, this just doesn't make sense. By searchers taking part in the initial hunt, it's not clear if there are other gloves that probers are still hopeful about. It typically takes 24 hours from the FBI receives a DNA sample to get the results after running in through CODIS. So here's where we are. CODIS works by cross-referencing profiles by DNA. authorities still have identified no suspects, guys, or persons of interest in the disappearance of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, who was last seen on the night of January 31st. We are into week 3. Pretty much the entire month of February is Nancy Guthrie History Month, not Black History Month, apparently, because this has consumed the feed, timeline, the news networks, everywhere for a long time. In the meantime, since, February, in the meantime, local cops and the FBI are dealing with between 40,000 and 50,000 leads, Sheriff Nano said on Monday. I can't wait to get your comments on this. I got to be honest, I thought, okay, DNA, let's get some science in. We got the clown show out of the way. Now let's go to the science. Let's go to the forensics. Let's go to the lab. Let's just get this thing identified. The FBI's handling this now with their CODIS index, et cetera, et cetera. I was so hopeful that this was going to lead to something. I'm so over this case. I feel bad saying that, but I have to tell you the truth. I'm done. I'm fatigued. Obviously, if there's any new breakthroughs or anything, I'm going to share that. But I have zero hope that this case is going to be solved. This could be one of those cases where I now believe we will never know what happened. We will never know what happened to Nancy Guthrie. I strongly think at this point, at this juncture, I give her less than a 50% chance of being alive. I mean, I'm praying, I hope I'm wrong, but I give her less of a 50% chance of being alive. And I give it less than a 20% chance that we're going to know what happened here and who the culprits were. I think TMZ and Harvey Levin should be ashamed of themselves. I think these ransom letters, I think they've been played for a fool, and they've been utilizing that for clickbait and engagement farming. But I think this could be one of those cases where it could go cold, and maybe something will come up a year, 5, 10, 20 years down the line, and they'll finally be like, oh, we know what happened. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Okay, in this next segment here, NYC, holy mackerel. New Yorkers are losing their minds after Ugandan Mayor Mamdani let literal feces cover the sidewalks when the snow melted. New Yorkers are saying, I've lived here my whole lives and I've never seen anything like it. This has a lot to do with the fact that he allowed the snow to build up. And I got one more clip to share with you. God, you got to check this out. This is quick.
Bro, this sidewalk is filled with shit. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm scared I'm gonna step in it. But yo, I ain't never seen no shit like that. Pun intended.
If you think that's bad, wait till you see this. Mamdani now saying in a press conference that he needs to break into the rainy day fund to fix this insane budget deficit. What happened? Now he's going to raise property taxes. He's going to raise, fees and everything. What happened to, no, we're not going to do anything different. We're going to lower everything. Nobody's going to pay more. Watch this.
Would rather do is ensure that they remain as they are so that the city can be on firm financial footing. However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
The fact that he can say that with a straight face after all the BS promises. Oh, good God, New York City, I pray for you. It's the most beautiful city. It's really, really sad. And speaking of embarrassing, ridiculous, non-achieving, non-qualified DEI hires, AOC gets absolutely destroyed by Vice President J.D. Vance. Let me know your comments on Mamdani. And oh my God, I don't even know what to say. Elections have consequences. I'm sorry, New York. I'm facing that here in California. I'm trying to say, if we don't vote red, we're all going to be dead. And I'm not even right or left. Oh, I'm definitely not left. But, you guys know me. If I had to define myself, I'm a constitutional centrist. I love America. What makes practical sense to me, I go with. I don't care what color it is, what side of the aisle it is. I just go with practicality. Does it align with the Constitution? But DEI and elections have consequences. And this is just more proof right here. I don't know if you missed my video earlier today, make sure you check it out. But I covered AOC's embarrassment at the Munich Security Conference. And JD Vance had an interview today, and I just thought this was brilliant, his response. Check out JD Vance right here. And come on back, I've got another one where he talks about a 2028 run.
Another person who may want a different job in the future and is definitely doing some reflection on how things went for her in Munich. Watch this.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States.
Martha, you bring me on your show and you show me the most uncomfortable 20 seconds of television I've ever seen. My takeaway from that.
What happened there? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a person who doesn't know what she actually thinks. And I've seen this way too much in Washington with politicians where they're given lines, and when you ask them to go outside the lines they were given, they completely fall apart because, look, does anybody really believe that AOC has very thoughtful ideas about the global world order or about what the United States should do with our policy in Asia or our policy in Europe? No, this is a person who is mouthing the slogans that somebody else gave her. And it
I guess
shows
no one gave her one for that one.
I guess not. And it shows how thin the Democrats' policy actually is on all these very, very important questions. Look, that was embarrassing. If I had given that answer, I would say, you know what? Maybe I ought to go read a book about China and Taiwan before I go out on the world stage again. I hope that Congresswoman Cortez has the same humility. I'm skeptical.
I'm skeptical as well, JD. Holy macadamia nut. What a giant embarrassment. I got one more clip here. Here's JD Vance being asked about 2028. Who would be your on your ticket? And what about a run for president? Check this out.
He's my vice president. Of course he's going to be at the top of the ticket.
Well, I think the president is very smartly saying we've got 3 years to go. And how about everybody focuses on the job the American people elected us to do rather than something that is very far in the future? As you said, look, Marco is my closest friend in the administration. I think he's doing a great job for the American people. But most importantly, we all have to continue doing a good job for the American people from the president on down. And that's what we're focused on. I think it's so interesting. The media wants to create this conflict where there just isn't any conflict. Marco's doing a great job. I'm trying to do as good of a job as I can. The president's doing a great job. We're going to keep on working together.
But surely, as vice president, you'd like to be president.
Would I? Well, look, I think, again, I'm going to try to do as good of a job as I can right now. So one of the things that I don't like about this question and this entire perspective is I've been in this job for all of a year. About 6 months ago, a year and 6 months ago, I asked the American people to give me this job that I have right now. Why don't I do as good of a job as I can in this job? We'll worry about the next job sometime in the future.
Okay. I got to give kudos to Martha for that follow-up question. And here's my question to you guys. I definitely think JD's going to run. I hope he runs. I want him to win. Definitely don't want AOC or Kamala to win. Who would make the perfect... By the way, maybe it's not JD. Let me know. Who would be the ultimate ticket that could carry on the America First tradition that we all voted for in 2024 and put America first, put Americans first? Who would be your ticket? Would it be JD Rubio? Would it be Rubio and Tulsi Gabbard? Would Pete Hegseth be there? Maybe JD and Pete Hegseth. Let me know who you think would be the ultimate ticket. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, last but not least, this is breaking news. The U.S. Capitol Police say a man wearing a tactical vest, I can't believe this, jumped out of his vehicle and began running towards the Capitol building while wielding a shotgun? This comes on the heels of this awful incident in Rhode Island where this transgender individual, I wouldn't be surprised if this was another trans terrorist, shot up this hockey ice skating rink. Let's check out this quick report. They gave a very small press conference. Let's learn more right here.
Today, just after noon, we had a white Mercedes SUV park in the 100 block of Maryland Avenue. And then we had a person exit that vehicle with a shotgun and begin running towards the Capitol. This individual was challenged by United States Capitol police officers and ordered to drop the weapon, which he did comply with. He laid down the weapon and then laid down on the ground and was taken into custody by our United States Capitol police officers. I want to commend the officers for the brave service that they provided here today. Who knows what could have happened if we wouldn't had officers here standing guard like they do every single day. I think it's important to note that just a few months ago, we had an active shooter exercise right here on the West Front, virtually in the same spot. And we do those active shooter exercises every single month. And that's why we do it. I think it's also important to note that this individual had a tactical vest on. He also had tactical gloves. And when we looked in the vehicle, he had a Kevlar helmet and a gas mask in the vehicle. He was also, like I mentioned earlier, the shotgun was loaded. He had additional rounds on his person.
Good God Almighty. Thank you so much to the Metro Police and all the law enforcement there in D.C. Thank God they had the training, the wherewithal, and the presence of mind to stop this. This could have been tragic. So he had a shotgun, he had a Kevlar vest, a tactical vest, I'm sorry, and a Kevlar helmet in his car. So this individual was up to no good. I wouldn't be surprised. We still don't know what the motive is. We still don't know the identity of this suspect or perpetrator or what have you. But God bless the Metro Police. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another trans lunatic. I've been saying it on X all day, make American asylums great again. We got to put these people, this is a mental disease. And so thank God for the Metro Police, but let me know what your thoughts are on that and all the stories. As always, I will keep you in the loop. Make sure that you tap that thumbs up, follow and subscribe down below. It's absolutely free, and let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed it. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.